He was a professional rider from America, and I'm sure he can show us a few stunts and give all the riders there a few hints. We'll also be seeing Jamie Hales, who is the current Australian champion, in action. Castrol's Bosses BMX is a new event only started this year, but like any other major BMX meeting, it attracted people from all over Australia. They all came to Ballarat for the 580 races held over 2 days. Each competitor would have 4 races a day, with points being awarded for each race. At the end of racing, the person with the most points would win his section of the competition. The races, called motos, are divided into classes from 5 to 16 and open, with 10-year-olds racing in Class 10, and so on. For the Boss of BMX final, there would be the best competitors from the 14, 15, 16 and open classes. Like any good motor racing driver, keen competitors walk the track looking for the trouble spots. It doesn't matter how old you are, as long as you can pedal a bicycle, you can be in it.
Right, girls. Riders ready. Pedal set.
This is Miss Muffet, the smallest competitor at the meeting. In 8 races, she came 6 out of 6, but never gave up trying. The rules of BMX are quite simple. To race, you need to belong to a club and hold a licence. The only other important things to remember are that the lead rider has right of way. No one must deliberately interfere with another rider, and no swearing. Big or small, you need the right equipment to go racing: helmets, gloves, protectors. We went to Neil Crompton's BMX shop to find out more about it. OK, Neil, well, I've been to Victoria Park and seen some of the BMX championships. It's made me quite enthused, so I want to get a bike and a few of the basics that I'll need. So we can go through and see how much money it'll cost.
Right.
So what do I need first? Probably the bike.
Well, basically, Tim, there's many different levels you can involve yourself in BMX. Of course, you've got just the young fellow, lives around the back corner, just wants to get involved with a little bit of gear. And, of course, you've got the racing guys as well who like to spend heaps of money. You don't necessarily have to spend a lot. In fact, the bare minimum in BMX is around about $40-odd, provided they have a helmet, 3 pads on their bike for their head stem, handlebar and frame, together with a pair of gloves so they can go racing. But at the same time, if they want to really get involved, they can also have padded shirts, they can have padded nylons, special shoes. In fact, it gets very involved. Go right into it. That's right.
Right, OK, well, we'll go for the bike, actually. I've taken quite to this mongoose, actually.
Right, yeah.
So how much is that? That's...
Well, that's around about a $300 bike. That's an American bike, and that basically fits into the spectrum at around about the middle of the road in BMX. It's not one of the real thoroughbred bikes,
right,
and it's not one of the real cheaper, heavier type bikes, and that's about the world's biggest selling bike.
Right, mongoose are quite well known too, aren't they?
Yeah, very, very.
Right. OK, well, then there's the helmet.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of different types of helmets. Some of the boys would probably realise this already. You've got your open face helmet, which is basically the lighter of the 2 types of helmets available.
Right.
They're very cool to ride in, and they average between around about $25 and probably around about $40-odd. And you can fit a variety of different types of face protection to them. Have a look here, we can see one of the very popular type of face guards, which have got the mouth guard on here, which you can detach. It's just an elasticized strap which fits over the top of the helmet, and you can pop the lenses in and out to keep them clean in between racing.
Right.
Another type of...
How much is that about?
That's around about $9.
Right, $9. And that's, you've got to have that with the helmet, haven't you?
Well, you don't have to have it, but obviously to keep the flying grit and the sand and the stones out, it's important.
To keep your teeth in too.
Very important.
Right.
The other thing that they also use for some of the guys, many of the riders aren't very happy about wearing goggles because they get very hot and very sweaty, and they do tend to fog up sometimes. This particular mouth guard here is the alternative for that sort of rider. That clips onto the front of the helmet, stops the stones and things flying in. At the same time, the rider can keep cool and not have to wear goggles. And that's a fair way away from his mouth too, isn't it? So it doesn't distract him. Plenty of room to breathe, and you're looking at around about $5 or $6 for that, Tim. OK, $6. Right, and we need the gloves, don't we? Gloves. Again, a very large variety of gloves, anywhere between around about $3 or $4, right up to around about $25 to $30. Most of them are done with leather in and around the palm. They've got extra stitching around the thumb and the parts that take a lot of beating. Right. And of course, most of the modern gloves are done with nylon on the back now so that they can keep lighter and cooler, and they offer less resistance when you pull your hand around the bar. And as you can probably imagine, when you're doing battle on a BMX track, it's about 40 or 50 seconds of total effort and total energy, and you want to have as much comfort as you can so that you don't get too tired. OK, and also, Neil, what about the BMX kind of the shirt and that we... Well, two basic different types of shirts. There's the lighter weight cotton shirts, which don't have any padding in them. They're basically just to throw on over your gear, and often they'll have various brand names and different messages on them. That's right, BMX. That keeps the kids happy because they love to see the name. And there's this type of shirt which is a little more functional for some of the kids. This particular one, that's right, fully padded right down the front, and also padded across the shoulder and right down the back of the elbow, so that you don't have to go back to mum and say, hang on, all the skin's missing, get out the Band-Aids. So it offers a lot more protection. Is that... Around about $25 for something like that. OK. And is there really anything else I need? Well, basically, that's about the lot. If you like to spend your money, you might also take a look at something like this, these nylon pants. In fact, there's 3 varieties of these. Some of them are done with cotton, which are around about the $30 mark. If you have got a bit more money to spend and you've been collecting your Coke cans, around about $50 for nylon. Or you can have some about $89 pants, which have got leather inserts around the knee and up around the backside. Right, so how much was this again? That's about $59. $59, and that offers a lot of protection too. Yep. So I think I probably wouldn't be the best rider. I'd want a lot of protection around me. Well, I'll total that up. That are about $295. There you go. 6 cents. So that basically is, it's not a very cheap sport, is it? Well, as I said, it depends entirely on how involved you become. If you just want to do it as a backyard sport, basically that helmet and gloves is all you need. And if you want to become very involved, it gets up around the $200 or $300.
Having spent all that money on a bike and accessories, the next thing to do is maintain it all in racing trim. Bernard Cochran. OK, Bernard, you work in the shop, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and you do all the maintenance work?
Yeah, I do most of it down there at the shop.
So basically, what do you have to do to maintain your bike?
Oh, well, usually before a race meeting especially, it's a good idea to take the cranks out, which are these here.
Right.
And just make sure that there's a lot of grease in it and there's no grit in them. Same with the headset. Right. And also adjust the brakes and that just so they're working good. Before you race, you have to go through what's called scrutineering. And they check everything on your bike to make sure it's safe. And if it's not, well, you don't get through. So it's a good idea to make sure that everything is.
They're coming. It's a little fella from South Australia, Cross Keys Club, number 13. Here comes number 28, though. Really flying around the inside. Drew Watkins, like 13 took a bit of a check there. Young Timmy Mitchell, I think it would be the other one. Young Tim Mitchell up in the second placing, but the fellow out front could be the one they've got to beat in the 5-year-old class here today at Castrol's Boss of BMX. This will be the little fella, I think. If you add up your points pretty carefully, I think you're going to find that Drew Watkins, number 28, will be the one that's on top of the points list. Or pretty close to it. Here he comes now, number 28, straight up towards the Quail Cycles sign. Around the corner goes Timmy Mitchell. Oh, Mitchell's going to bite the tyres. Just gets a touch on there. It's a little fella from South Australia. A Link, I think, starting to close the gap a bit. Link up there, Paul Link, number 13 from South Australia. But no doubt about the leader. Number 28, it is Drew Watkins all the way, riding very, very well indeed. We've got young Mitchell, young Timmy, number 5, 24. Out of the gate come Hall, Wilson, Yo and Carrick. Yo got a better start this time. 137's up there. Number 32's Carrick. Yo's got the check going into the corner. 20 up there would be Little Stinker. It would have to be Scott Hall at the rear of the field at the moment, running in fourth, but he gets past Carrick on the inside. Justin Yo up there just coasting along at the moment, not doing too much work. Matthew started to discuss. Matthew Wilson it is, has got the lead. Matthew Wilson, his numbers flipped upside down. Oh, Matthew Wilson chopped up Yo. Yo just survives that one, a crunching run into the corner. As he flipped the tires and bounced back on, he's recovered very nicely indeed. And it's Justin Yo, number 4. The leader, of course, would be Matthew Wilson out there in the blue with the yellow helmet on. 6:45. Justin Yo in the skyline colours goes out after him. Number 20 would have to be Scott Hall coming on very strong indeed. Little Stinker, 32 would be the next one through. Link Parry. Out of the gate they come, and it looks like Weeks up the middle. Sullivan goes with him on the outside. Number 8 would be the one to watch. Pat Dillon going strongly. Oh, Dillon just wants to be in sprint from Weeks. And Sullivan, and Weeks just checking each other as he goes to the corner. Weeks,
this race is for cruisers, bigger bikes with bigger wheels. They are faster and more spectacular, but not true BMX.
Heads up and away on the flying mongoose. And as Sullivan goes in on a tight line, gee, down goes Matthew Weeks in a big heap. Sullivan just a little bit ahead of them, those who went into that corner. Pat Dillon takes over in third place. Hot Legs Hanson back down 2:3:46 going around the right-hander in the Sun Tour gear on the RRS. On the line now, senior ladies. Out comes Russell Osluski, Fountain Turner, Nunn and Kerr. And it's Osluski at the moment. Tanya Osluski, number 2, Victoria. Where's, young Maddie nearly went over the top. Through goes Jam and Janet, went very well indeed. Young Jam and Janet Turner, number 95, turns the corner. She gets up onto Osluski, but Osluski's into the triples already. Starting to move very smoothly, this girl. Number 2, Victoria, takes a quick look around. Here comes Jamming Janet. Number 95 is, up around the outside. Number 165 going very well indeed. Anne-Marie Russell starts to close the gap on them, and young Anne-Marie Russell's really putting it on. Jamming Janet stuck back into third place there. Fourth place at the moment, number 8. And you're going to have to watch Mandy Fountain. Mandy Fountain's coming home strongly. Oh, it's all on. Jamming Janet just managed to sneak through. 167 will be Jason Richards and Jamie O'Neill. Number 167 had his handlebars twisted sideways the last time. He'll be out there to make up a bit more ground this time, and I think he's got the lead at the moment. 167 does it well.
If you really want to test your leg muscles, try riding a side hack. Apart from being heavier, you have the weight of a passenger. Of course, some passengers are more helpful than others.
Over the back wheel, they come through that well, but not as well as the boys up behind them. And I think 436, Darren Nicholson took that corner very nicely indeed in the crossroad of clothing. As they turn the left hand and come back towards us, it's 167 in the sidecars. Jason Richards and Jamie O'Neill just out in front of number 436, Darren Nicholson. Haven't got the passenger's name, unfortunately, in the crossrider clothing. They head up towards the left hand, around past the Castrol GDX sign, and it's 167 making up for the last time when he had a couple of spills. Guy G took that double well, just about cleared the two of them. 167 it is. Jace Richards and Jamie O'Neill.
BMX tracks like this one are sprouting up all over the country, replacing once popular skateboard tracks. But not every BMX bike owner belongs to a club and races. And nobody races all the time. So a new type of riding is emerging. It's called freestyle. Like most new sports, it was started in America, and its greatest exponent is Bob Haro. Bob, you first started as a motorcycle rider, right?
Right.
And you told me that it didn't pay off.
That's correct. It was just got a bit expensive. I was self-sponsored. My mom and dad weren't into it too much.
Right. And how'd you get into BMX?
Basically, my brother had a BMX bicycle, and I used to ride it all the time. I actually rode it more than him, and I broke it, so my dad told me how to buy it, and that's how I basically got a BMX bicycle.
That's a lot different from racing.
It's quite a bit different. It's called freestyle. It was started a while back ago by a friend and I in San Diego, and what has evolved is from like riding in skateboard parks.
Right.
We've kind of developed our own tricks.
It's promotions like Bob Haro's and Castrol's boss of BMX that have turned the fun of riding bikes into an $80 million a year business. It might look like fun, but at the higher levels, competition is fierce.
And it looks like Glenn Rawson at the moment. Dinio's up there in second place. Matthew Weeks, the Mongoose rider, moves on through. By gee, there's no quarter given out there. Will you take a look at Glenn Rawson, number 4? Look at Glenn Rawson just flying out there at the moment. Here he is, number 4 in Australia. And he's
In the national titles, each class races for the coveted number 1 Australian number plate. And once you've won it, you've got to keep it.
Third, not wanting to make any mistakes. In fourth place, and you've got number 17, no, Shane Robertson looking for the pass. Here goes Dino. Matthew Weeks moves up in a second. I think Yo's got the better of him. First, second and third would be a Castrol's BMX.
The person who's won the Australian title for the last 2 years is Mongoose rider Jamie Hales.
Down out of the Morven Star start to come Jamie Hales, who's got the jump there. Wayne McIntosh, number 10, goes with him. Mick Wiltshire's up there. It looked like Jimmy O'Neill could have tucked in underneath him. First into the U-Hire left-hander is Jamie Hot Shoe Hales. Wayne McIntosh is up there. Number 10, over the tabletop they wheelie. It's straight in behind him. I think it looked a little like number 4 Australia. It was indeed Mick Wiltshire. Down goes one of the riders in the GT colours. By G, he didn't look too good. St John's might like to check out Grant Colthorpe, but at the moment, number 1 Australia for 2 years in succession, Jamie Hot Shoe Hales. He'll be followed in by GT's rider, Wayne McIntosh. Next one up would be the other Mongoose rider, Mick Wiltshire. So it looks like Mongoose have got 3 riders in Castrol's boss of BMX.
Another spill and a bit more washing for Mum, but it's the same for everybody. Vince Tesoriero used to promote motorbike meetings, but like Bob Haro, he's now putting his efforts into BMX. I asked Vince what has made BMX so popular here in Australia. It's become so big in such a short time.
Oh, well, I think that push bikes have always been very, very popular for kids, and kids are into sort of like an action lifestyle, right. And the fact that they've now got a push bike that they can jump gutters on and go racing on and things, it's really going to make it, you know, it has made it quite popular.
Yeah, so nearly every second household has a BMX bike.
Oh, definitely. And what's more, I don't think it's a craze like skateboards it's just going to go away either. No. I think that, you know, BMX is around to certainly stay for quite a while.
Yeah. Going, looks for his bike, no messing around with this boy, and it's Hales out from McIntosh at the moment. Oh, Hales jumped the first 2 of the triple whoopsies round the Curia corner they come, over the single jump, turn around the right-hander, past the Quail cycle sign, and it's Hales out from McIntosh. Hales just about pushed the tires. McIntosh looking for the pass.
Favourite for the title, Jamie Hales, is as close to being a professional rider as you can be in Australia.
As they go for home, he won't catch the flying legs of 2-time Australian champion Jamie Hot Shoe Hales has taken it away.
You rode from competition state to state, is that right?
Yeah, I go mainly where all the big races like this Castrol Boss of BMX thing. I sort of go around where all the big nationals are.
They pay for you?
Yeah, Mongoose.
Got a good deal going?
Yeah, Mongoose give me all my, they pay my expenses, give me travel bikes, all my clothing, you know, everything I want, everything I need to race.
How do you think Australia's going internationally compared with America and other countries?
Australia's probably second best to America. But they started about 6 years ahead of us, so they're a lot more experienced riding, a lot faster.
Right. And BMX has become pretty big within a couple of years. What do you think it's become so big?
I just reckon it's sort of like, it's sort of things that kids can do. It's a competition they can do, and they don't need their bikes just to race. They can ride them around the streets, and then they can muck around and do jumps and stuff. And mainly, it's an individual sport sort of thing. You only get out of it what you put into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1982 Castrol's Boss of BMX is about to get underway. We hand them over to the starter, Mr. Pinnell. They're all yours. Don't forget, people, who want to hear from you when that gate comes down. Let them hear it. Call out the names. Call out after the gate. They come straight away out of the Melbourne start. You've got Jamie Hales up front. Young Macca. Oh, down goes Hales in a big heat. Came across the front of McIntosh. Dino stops to pick him up. We need the St John's boys over here in a big hurry. And it's Wayne McIntosh up front from Matthew Weeks. Straight in behind him, you've got Magic McWiltshire. Mick Wilshire's up there doing 2x2s. Over the top of the triples he goes. Magic McWiltshire starting to close the gap. Number 10 on the GT bike. Here's the Wayne McIntosh all the way from New South Wales. By G, he hasn't come here for nothing. Straight up behind him, another New South Welshman. Number 4, and here comes Magic McWiltshire. They hit up the start-finish line. Third place they go to Weeks, and look at Magic Mick starting to move. And the Castrol Boss of BMX for 1982 is number 10, Wayne McIntosh from New South Wales. What do you guys say?
Okay, well, Wayne McIntosh, congratulations for winning the Boss of BMX. What was it like?
I felt great, I didn't think I had it. Going in the first turn, it was a bit scary, but just coming out of it, I just felt like it was mine all the way, no worries.
Right, well, Jamie Hales is the current Australian champion. He looked as though he was right at the front too until he went over the tyre.
Yeah, it was pretty close, that's what I mean. It was really scary going that turn, but I come out on top, so that's all that counts, really.
Right, how do you feel?
I feel great.
You've won it for New South Wales. You're taking it up to New South Wales, which is good.
Yeah,
you've also won yourself a motorbike.
Yeah, it'll be a bit hard getting on the plane.
Right, again, congratulations,
Thank
mate.
you.
Right. Okay, well, this is Tim Grogan from a very cold Ballarat, signing off and thanking you for watching the Castrol Boss of BMX Championship. See you later.